Welcome to JFP Podcast. Today we are talking with Jarret Anderson from Air Salt Factory. What's going on, Jared?
Not too much. Doing all right. How about yourselves?
Not
Good.
too bad. So we typically start off this podcast pretty fast, and we kind of go into basic question is how you got into paintball. You mind explaining that for us?
Yeah. It was actually not a birthday party, as most people do start there. A bunch of my friends dragged me out to, I believe it was Splat Tag. I wasn't in the scene, so I'm pretty sure it was Splat Tag.
Mhm.
The summer of 2003. So dating myself a little bit. Did not have a good time. Went out there. They were all a little bit more athletic than myself, and they said we're gonna run up this big hill. And I got about halfway up that hill. They were already long gone, and then I can see masks popping up over the top of the hill, and they start shooting back at us. So I turned around and I bucked it back. My first hit was right in the tuchus.
Ooh.
And then yeah, for I believe for the most part of that day, my quote unquote gun was broken. So I probably sat out most of that. And that was the only time I actually saw woods ball until probably like 15 years later. I started playing at FSL.
Okay.
They were already on the tournament team, and for some reason, sadomasochist or something, but something about the sport just drew me back in.
That's
And
awesome.
so, yeah, started playing there. Like I said, he was already on the team, so we would go like 2 or 3 times a week actually.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
And yeah, if we were just reffing or what, we'd get a bag of paint and do drills after we reffed, and then go back home.
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. What was your first marker that you had, and do you still have it?
The very first one, my girlfriend at the time got me a Spider Extra.
Ooh.
But yeah, that was quickly turned in. Then I got a Dragon TES, and then I
Okay.
don't know if you guys know about like PB Nation and all that, but that scene kind of drew me in, and then I ended up getting I probably had 15 to 20 guns
Oh
throughout a very
wow.
short throughout like a very short turn.
You still have
Always
them all?
turning them around, right? No, always turning them.
Okay.
Oh okay.
Like I think I got it from the Dragon TES. It was like a 2K2 Intimidator, black to blue fade dust.
Hell
Ooh,
yeah.
And then I got him Ray to Shockers, a couple of Dynasty Shockers.
nice.
Yeah, they were usually getting turned. Now I have when I finally got on the FSL team, we got what we thought was a discount. I guess it was kind of a discount. But for the DM6 had just come out, so that was like the biggest evolution of the Matrix. If you guys know, the DM4 was a little bulky, the DM5 was also bulky, and then
Yep.
the 6 had that ultralight frame. And so I still have my 6. I have about a DM8 from a buddy that doesn't play on damage anymore, but he does the stats. I don't know if you guys know Mike Sola, but I bought
Name's
his
familiar.
DM8. And then I've just got a few of my air assault markers, but those are the only ones that I'm keeping now. So I have about 6 guns, I think.
Nice. Hell
That's
yeah.
awesome. Do you have a favorite of like the older markers that you have, or is it kind of the newer ones that are your favorite?
If I could ever get back, I had an Emerald Lux 1.0. If I could ever get that back,
An
that'd
emerald
probably
one?
be it was Emerald Gloss.
That
And
would be
Ooh,
sweet.
I got it at the MAO event that they released, and so they like special swapped the parts for me because they had like the Joker colorway, so
That's
like the
awesome.
emerald with purple, and I was like, I kind of want the emerald on emerald, and so
mhm.
they found I think they had a black with emerald parts, and they switched out the emerald parts for my purple parts.
That's so
That's
cool.
I just made it
awesome.
a full gloss emerald.
Wow.
That's awesome. So you kind of briefly talked about the air assault markers you have. I'm very curious on how that works with you guys and your air assault markers, because those things look really freaking sweet. And whenever I see, I don't know if our viewers know, but whenever you see a carbon commercial, it's usually Brent or an AAF guy being featured on them, and then so I want to make sure that people know about that. But whenever I see them, I always think that you guys have the sweetest markers, and I'm just wondering if you can briefly talk about that.
Yeah, so that's all shout out to Brent for getting that going. When Air Assault opened in 2005, they started a factory team. I wasn't on it yet, but I was still around. FSL closed down. Air Assault was the new hot place to play.
Mhm.
But they've had a relationship with Planet since they opened. Like
Oh,
the
wow.
original team shot Planet Eclipse.
Mhm.
Then you can quote me on it because I'm saying it, I suppose. But what I believe really sparked it is Planet made these special colored markers, all based off of like the Marvel
Mhm.
universe. So they had like a Venom one that was black with like a white lightning bolts almost, and then there was like a Spider-Man splash. There was a Wolverine that was like the gold with the blue parts.
Mm-hmm.
and that was all exclusive to Air Assault. And they ended up selling, again, this is before my time, but they ended up selling like a crap ton of markers
That's
for Planet,
crazy.
and I believe that's what kind of rolled that through. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Palmia markers as well from Planet,
Oh yeah, yep.
but those are also exclusive through Air Assault through Brent.
Wow.
I wonder if that's how RJ got his. I think he told us the story, but I wonder if the original was from. If you say it's exclusive through Brent, then yeah, it must have come through Brent. So that's
Yeah,
kind
at
of
some point, or
interesting.
else otherwise the secondary market or whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, RJ has a CS3 Palmia gun, and he loves it.
Yeah, those are definitely all great, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the proceeds go straight to that foundation. So
Oh, that's interesting to know
That's
too.
crazy.
That's awesome.
That is super cool actually that you guys have connections like that and you guys can get sponsored and whatnot.
yeah, so we've
Yeah.
had since what was the first one? The GO1, and the Ego 9, I believe, were the first air assault markers.
Wow.
I didn't have a Geo, but I did have a Ego 9. I got rid of that, probably 2016 or so.
Okay.
Mhm.
Kind of wish I didn't, but and then they've had they've had a lot of the iterations of the Planet guns since then.
Yeah.
Out of all the Planet guns that you guys do have, which one do you typically use at tournaments?
Right now I'm on the R5,
Okay.
but if we do that, you cannot shoot mech with the R5, so I'd have to use the CS3. We just got some CS3 Pros as well, but I haven't pulled the trigger on that.
Yeah.
I probably don't need to, but I still might.
It's never a need. It's always a
Yeah.
mo-
For sure. My favorite was probably the 3.5 Geo that came out. But I mean that still had a macro line. Or wait, no, it didn't. Man, I can't. It had like that weird. It wasn't necessarily macro line plastic, but it had like that gas that passed through
Mhm.
from the trigger frame to the marker. So the CS1 was the first one that didn't. But yeah, I'm really liking the R5 right now. I put the brass piece in there. I don't know if people know that have R5s, but it actually comes with an aluminum colored piece, SFR, or a brass one, and the brass one will make the shot a lot lighter.
Oh,
I
really?
wonder if Seth knows because he is a HK. I don't know exactly which one, but he's a R5, HK R5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like a brass piece. It doesn't work too good in like we're all up here in the north. So in the cold, it doesn't like to shoot as much.
For sure.
But
Mhm.
I've heard the twister bolt can fix that.
Interesting.
Gotcha. So I was gandering around PB leagues today, and I saw that you guys had a couple lines going down to ICPL. Is that the series that you guys plan on playing this year the majority of the time, or are you planning to do anything else?
We're signed up for Max as well out in Blast Camp.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So there's I think we're doing D4X there, and then yeah, a lot of the guys have really liked the classic format.
Mhm.
A lot of the players on our team for that are also I guess I could air quote classic players, as in they've been playing for a good couple decades now,
Mhm.
and
Right.
so like they grew up playing the 10-man and the hyperball and stuff like that.
Yeah. Kind of the is it kind of the sense where it's just like all those guys are most familiar with, so they're just gonna stick with it?
I think they're having a great time playing it. And I mean we're bringing a lot of Chrome back too, so that's always helpful. Keep
I
it
would
going.
love to do a 10-man. Sounds like so much fun.
I think I've only been to one. I was gonna go to the California event, but then that didn't work out with the family.
Mhm.
For sure.
I did Tampa 23, and of course, coming out of Tampa, I got COVID when I got home from that, and
Oh
then this
man.
last event, I got the flu.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah,
So you
it's
coming
always
back
Tampa.
from Tampa? You got the flu?
I probably got it at Tampa, yeah. I think
Oh
a lot of
damn.
players got it. Yeah, ICPL we did. I don't know if you guys follow like the Summit Awards, but we ended up getting Amateur Team of the Year last year
Oh shit.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you guys.
at
Yeah,
the
that's
Vegas at
awesome.
the event that was at the first event last year. So for like the 2024 season.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
so it's pretty
always
cool.
yeah, I'm always surprised that which air salt represents, Minnesota is we don't have that many teams out of Minnesota. There's probably a handful that you can really fit, like a handful that you can really count. But it's just so nice to see like you guys being represented at a high level, and it's just like it's always good to see because then Minnesota and Midwest paintball, really gets showcased, and we do have paintball up here, and and it shows that you guys always bring a good competition down to wherever you guys play, and it's just like it's really nice to have some representation and to tell the world that we can still ball. So I appreciate all the representation that you hand out to the rest of the paintball industry.
Yeah, for sure. And huge shout out to Carbon. As you mentioned, Brent is part of that organization. So is Walker. So it kind of helps with our team. And it's really cool to see like the commercials, and then it's like, hey, I have that jersey,
Yeah,
or hey, I was in that event, or hey, look, that's my hand in that quick commercial.
that's awesome.
And they just products are top notch. So
Of course.
Yeah, I want to get a carbon barrel kit, but I haven't been able to pull the trigger on that one quite yet. But I kind of wanted to talk to like asked if or sorry, kind of wanted to highlight carbon and why you recommend them as a product to everybody else, because I know that the carbon products are very high quality, but do you off the top of your head know another reason why people should be getting into carbon?
it really is the functionality. And then if you go as far as like the actual team program itself, they cater to what each team wants, right? As opposed to like, hey, here's the package you can get from X, Y, or Z. That's your package. Here's your percent. It's more of like, hey, do you want to do top to bottom? Which that's what Airassault is they call it a pro form team. So that's like the mask, the unders, the overs, all that. Or do you just want the packs and the unders, this, that, and the other? And they kind of cater to whatever a team is looking to purchase, as opposed to like trying to push all their product on it. For me, it's a functionality thing. So like the goggle system, I've been playing for a while. I've used a lot of different goggles. This goggle is the most breathable. You can hear the most, and people can hear you the most. And so
Yeah.
it's like it's just kind of like not a no brainer, but functionality is where I'm coming from for that. Or like
For
the gear, it's very minimalistic, but I would wear the unders to work if it wasn't weird. Like I don't need knee pads in like a hip girder, but they're so comfortable that you could just throw them on and you'd forget them on them for the rest of the day.
Damn.
Yeah.
We were speaking of that ICPL. I don't know how often you guys go to Florida, but unlike here where we'll have like a day of rain, they'll have sun, and then it'll be for 5 to 10 minutes, it'll just be downpouring tsunami,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden the sun's out and everything's dry.
That's awesome.
So if I was wearing like not an older style, I guess, yeah, older style, like jersey and stuff, I would still be wet the whole day
Yeah.
from that 10 minutes of rain. But with this, we literally went out, they stopped they stopped our progression onto the field for this one point. It was downpouring, everybody soaked. But by the time the point started, I already felt dry. We had
That's
like the
huge.
dry fit unders, and then the overs are so light that it literally just evaporated off of us.
That's crazy.
That's actually huge because not a lot of people talk about that, and I feel like that's a very like big impact to somebody's game, and it's also like demoralizing if you're like soaking wet and it's cold and it's just like
Yep.
you don't want to go out and play another point, but if you're feeling like, hey, it just rained, I'm drenched right the second, but hey, 10 minutes later I'll be fine. That's a completely different mindset.
Right. Plus, I feel like that would help keep you a lot cooler too, with it being so light.
Yep. Yeah. So it kind of works both ways. So if it's cold outside, this is going to help you stay warm. If it's hot outside, you're going to sweat, and then that's going to cool you down. It's
Okay,
it's
that's super
kind of
cool.
all in one. It actually reminds me of we played in the Vicious series, probably 2010, 2011, and
Okay.
it had it was a Midwest downpour, so it was raining all day,
Oh yeah.
muddy. We're wearing, I think I had on the old style Planet Eclipse, the baggy pants and the old style Aerosalt jersey, the Draxus jersey.
Mhm.
And that was just, I probably added 15 pounds. I'm just caked
Yeah.
in mud everywhere.
Right.
And like the jersey just stayed soaked all day. Where if we had the carbon stuff, I don't think that would have been a thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's very huge to have. Because it changes, like I said, it changes the whole mindset of when you go out and play a point. You're not demoralized. Your team morale is still high. You're not just like, I want to just get up and leave type of situation.
Right.
Right. Like, why are we here?
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, just stand in the sun for a little bit, and you're essentially dry. I was amazed.
Right. Well, minus the rain, how does the weather, such as like the cold weather, affect how you play and how your team plays?
I usually try to stay moving, really. Because especially if you get cold, like you're not going to move as fast. You're going to get in that mindset of like, what am I doing? What am I playing here? What am I doing? but like I suppose the hands are probably the most important for me.
Yeah.
Like if you're feeling cold out there and you catch a snap and you lose that battle, you're not going to want to stay out there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that, especially if you, like you said, you take a ball with your knuckles. It's just like it's like almost a knockout punch. Oh man, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Right. If
Taking
it's
knuckle
cold
shots
out, yeah.
suck. Do you guys have like a indoor field, or do you guys practice outside during the winter as well?
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna touch on next. Is we used to have a lot more fields. I don't know if you guys know Paintball Minnesota, the organization.
Mhm.
A couple years back, so it was action pack paintball games, splat ball, and air assault paintball in St. Paul.
Mhm.
They closed air assault in St. Paul. They closed action pack paintball games down in Jordan. So now we just practice out of splat ball over in North Minneapolis.
Okay.
And so that's where we play through the winter. We just made it out. A few of the guys made it out to Annandale this last weekend, but it was like 35 degrees. So I told them good luck. And then actually this Saturday night before Easter is when they went out to Annandale. They went that Saturday morning, but then Saturday night we had a practice inside splat ball.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
nice. Yeah, I appreciate splat ball in the winter. I know I only won a couple times this year, but we don't have a lot of indoor options, being in the Midwest. And I appreciate what Brent does for our little tight-knit community and keeping open and keeping gun hours open for us to just come and keep our wits about us during the wintertime, just to continue being on the grind during the wintertime. It's just huge. And I really do appreciate what Brent and what you guys do, because it's all of us that need to keep this sport growing and appreciate everything that Splat Tag does, or Splat Ball. I'm sorry, Splat Tag. Getting those mixed up. Splat Ball. I appreciate what Splat Ball does during the wintertime and keeping our wits about. So I want to get Brent on here at one point and get his 2 cents on the paintball community and how he's doing. But no, I appreciate having that as an option, and being able to play you guys is huge, because I would, I can be the first to admit that you guys are really freaking good, and having that competition is huge for us, because then that we have something to push for. We have some goals. So we, thank you guys for being you guys and allowing us to compete with you guys, and we really do appreciate it.
Yeah, this year I actually don't think I made it out to a gun owners. It never lined up. But yeah, I think it's really key. I really liked when we started doing those. And I guess like the one of the positives from air assault closing is that we got to absorb those bunkers
Hmm.
for splat ball. So like a couple of years ago, gun owners was played with like there was like tanks and
Yep.
other like non-standard bunker sets out there, and I'm a very traditional sup air or air ups kind of
Hmm.
player. And so it's really nice to see that we at least have the standard bunkers out there. And again, bringing the competition is good, and as long as people keep coming, that's what keeps those doors open for that. So
It's
appreciate
just
you guys for
more.
coming out.
Yeah, no. If you can provide your 2 cents, this may be more of a question for Brent, but is there ever a world where we have some sort of like tournament set up at Splat Ball, and like we have a couple teams come out and play like a round robin tournament and just to have something fun over the winter, just to do? 'Cause I feel like we could get a couple teams together to do that, even if it's not PBL or APPA. I feel like that would be just fun for everybody.
Yeah, so we've tried doing leagues. I used to work for Paintball Minnesota about a decade ago now. But we used to do leagues, and think I kind of want to revamp that up again, like on my free time.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's definitely more of a Brent question as far as logistics would go.
Yeah.
But the way we've been doing our practices, I feel like it would work for a tournament setting. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the Hormesis duel.
Yep.
Mhm.
So he's been working on that this whole winter, where he's modified that to, instead of solo play, it's either 2-on-2 or 3-on-3.
Yep.
But you have a team of, if it's 2-on-2, you might have a team of 4 or 3. If it's 3-on-3, you might have a team of 4 or 5.
Hmm.
And just like the duel or the joust, or more so like the duel, I guess. Somebody touches the buzzer, point's good. You have technically it's like a 5-second or 10-second thing, but like he'll say the point scored. He'll say what the score is now, and then he'll say 10 seconds. And within that, I don't know, it's probably real time, 15 to 20 seconds. You have that long to get on the other side of the field to the other box. If you did not get shot, you stay in. If you did get shot, you're out and you rotate. Then you
Interesting.
play a race to 10.
Oh wow.
So it's like
That's an endurance battle.
a lot
Yeah.
of points. Yeah, I came back, had been doing family stuff, and came back probably like it was after World Cup. I took the holidays off, and I want to say a whole nother month after that, and I was gassed
Oh, I'm
probably up
sure.
until like that next Thursday. Like my legs were
Dang.
gassed. Like I was killed.
Just
Um,
beat.
yeah, and so I
Yeah.
mean, I think we could do like maybe a race to 5,
Hmm.
and that we could probably run that as a pretty cool tournament. But again, that'd be all up in the air for logistics. It's really about monetization.
Yeah.
Sadly for paintball, in the history of paintball, like the tournament side of it isn't what keeps the doors open.
Oh yeah, it's
It's the
the
rec players and
rentals.
yep,
Yep.
yep. Yeah, I've actually been trying to. I think Todd Martinez started we call it the URPL. I don't know if it's still going around, but I was going to reach out to him and see if that's still going on. But like the United Recreational Paintball League or something like that, URPL. Yeah, and so that'd be really cool to get people signed up. But again, you'd have to have the signups prior to actually putting it together, and then it's just the logistics of all that because for insurance reasons they have to have somebody on staff. So it's like
Yeah.
how much would they have to charge for it to again keep the doors open, keep the lights on.
Right.
Exactly. And it's kind of difficult too because our scene in the Midwest is not like what it is down south or on the West Coast or East Coast. We don't have a lot of people who are coming out and playing paintball, at least for rental players. And so it makes it really difficult, I can imagine, for business owners to say, hey, like tournaments, as much as we want to support tournaments, those are not what keep the doors open. And they're probably taking a loss every once in a while on those. But it's just we need to, as a community, we need to find out what the winning recipe is to keep those rental players coming back and getting more people into the checking out paintball. Um, and I've said this a little bit. Some people have said it. It's not usually the business owners, not like Brent or JT or Thule. It's the community. What do you think the community can do to help bring in those players to keep businesses open and thriving?
So I
Paintball
think
businesses.
right. I think the big difference between Annandale and Vintage, and then Paintball Minnesota is that Paintball Minnesota utilizes like the 50 cal a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
and so or not a lot more. It's essentially except for in the winters, like if you come in for a group, that's what you're shooting is you're shooting the 50 cal paint.
Mhm.
Yep.
And so we don't really like the tournament side doesn't really see the rec players. We're at Vintage and at Annandale they kind of can.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But really, I suppose just like jumping in, asking people if they liked what they were doing, and then I guess so like I said, when I worked at Splatball, I did start like this league, and essentially the only way or the way I got people to even join was as they were walking out. I was like, "Hey, did you have fun? Would you want to take the next step?" Essentially, right?
Yep.
And so they put down their phone number and an email or whatever. I think I got them on an email list, and then I just sent out like an email list of, "Hey, I'm doing this league. It's going to be on these days. If you're still interested or whatever, right?"
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then that kind of bridges that gap from, "Hey, I had fun that one time at Billy's birthday last year," to like, "Hey, I play this every week or once a month or whatever it is."
Right.
Yeah.
Just getting them out there more.
Right, and, like, a lot of people don't even know it's a thing.
Right.
And so, like, when I went out to FSL, again, 20 years ago, they had the DVDs playing in the pro shop.
Oh yeah.
They had the posters up. They had I don't know how old you guys are, but, like, the Action Village magazines, you could, like, sign up for the mail booklet,
Oh
and, like,
yeah.
those booklets would be out, and you'd be like, "Oh, wow, look at this gun," and then you'd also flip the page and, "Oh, look at this skateboard deck," or whatever. And
Yeah.
so they kinda bridged the gap with the skater crew. You'd sign up for this booklet, and you'd wanna look at your cool decks, but on the other side of that, like, on the reverse side of it it's all paintball stuff. And so it was almost taking both markets and not combining them, but at least giving them, eyesight, right?
Right.
Where in today's age, everything's on your phone, so it's a lot harder to market.
For sure.
I have this theory that paintball was very much alive during the early 2000s, and so was punk rock, like the Slum 41s, the Blink 182s, just the punk rock era and the paintball just kind of meshed really well. And I think when that bubble bursted, at least for the punk rock, I think that's like also when paintball also started like dying off a little bit. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I can see the correlation. I think the biggest issue was the recession, the 2008 recession.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Paintball's really it's like we call it a luxury sport, I think is the term a lot of people use.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So it really kind of works off a lot of not marks off, but like what's the word I'm looking for? It just cuts off a lot of the market just because of how expensive it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Like a lot of you go out and play basketball, you're gonna have to go to a park and you need a ball, or you're
Yep.
gonna go play soccer. You could literally kick a rock around if you need to. Where with paintball, at least in the way we play it right now, it's you're gonna go out there and you're gonna at the very least you're spending $50, probably $100.
Yeah.
Um, we've got a scrimmage coming up where it might cost $250 for the weekend, which
Dang.
sounds like a lot, but it's like it's if you're gonna shoot a lot of paint, you're gonna shoot a lot of paint.
Right.
That's why I'd really like it would be nice to like set up a league where I don't know the numbers. I'd have to like crunch out the numbers and see what would actually again keep the lights on them. Kind of circling back to that over and over again. Where you would pay like a flat fee. Say you sign up for the league. I don't know how much like a bowling summer league or like a little league would cost these days, but
Hmm.
say it's $250, right?
Yep.
You pay that up front, that gets you X amount of days into the that X amount of league days. And then each time you go in, you get here's your rental. Everybody has the same marker, whether it's the I think they use E-Techs for the premium, whether it's the E-Tech premiums or the GMEC or EMEC
Hmm.
normal rental. But every point you play, you fill up your loader, not for free because you've already paid, but like
You don't have to worry about
not
paint costs the day of.
right. But at the same time, you're also not giving them four pods per game or whatever. You're just like, yep, here's your loader. This is what you need. Or even brought back even further because like a lot of kids and stuff are when they play paintball, they're gonna sit in the back line and they're gonna shoot. And they're just gonna shoot. And they're just gonna shoot.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Where if the league focused more on like a clinic style, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
Like here's how you play paintball. Here's a type of slide that you would do. Here's this and that. And then like snap shooting drills. And like drill days you're using far less paint.
Oh yeah.
And so it could work out to where you're teaching these kids how to actually play. You're getting some sort of knowledge on the fundamentals, the snap shooting, this, that, and the other, the importance of aggression, etc. As opposed to just here's a bunch of paintballs and go shoot it. Because again, that's gonna need the broad. You'd have to charge way more if the idea was just hey, go out there and shoot a bunch of paint,
Hmm.
Right.
as opposed to like here's how you snap shoot, here's how you do this, here's what to look for to progress up the field, this, that, and the other.
Right. That could also get them to have a lot more fun too, because now they have something that they can use in the game rather than, like you said, just sitting in the back the whole time shooting. Now they have
Right.
some like knowledge into the game to do something and have a lot more fun because there's more stuff to do, more plays to be made. And who doesn't love going out there and popping some heads and making a cool play?
And would you target this? I assume you would target this more towards kids and
Yeah, kids
terrible
and
people.
so when I did it, it ended up only being most of the gun owners. Splatball did have a short period where they had like gun owner hours throughout the year.
Mhm.
Not just in the winter, not like just like a designated time, but it was just like part of the business model is they would have gun owners that come in. And they kind of reminded me of when I would be at FSL, like they would hang out a lot. They would they'd be in the pro shop a lot. We would sell them quite a bit of stuff out of the pro shop.
Mhm.
And we ended up making a D5 team out of it.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, they ended up doing pretty good. I think we ended up getting second. I guessed it on that team and all this, but then they just kind of life came and I think all of them fell off. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of them come back. But yeah, sorry, I'm on a tangent here.
No, you're good.
But yeah, hopefully the rental come in would be more focused on like, hey, did you have fun at this birthday party? Do you want to try this out? Here's like the
Yeah.
next intro, almost like an intro. But you could even tier that up, right? You could have here's the intro level. Okay, you've already done the intro, or you don't think you need to do the intro. Here's the advanced level, this, that, and the other. But then you're more getting into like a clinic, actual clinic.
Right.
And I think
Yeah.
Aerosol did that one of the years when they were in semi-pro. They called it like a flight class or something like that. But that was more like the advanced clinic.
Yeah.
You guys always come up with like the coolest names for things. Like you guys, some of the call outs that you guys call out are like that's clever, especially because they all correlate with your guys' team name.
Yeah, the like the bunker calls.
Yeah.
Like airstrike, I think is one of your call outs.
So we've tried to incorporate more recently like rockets and lasers.
Mhm.
So you might know Ricky and Lucy
Yep.
for kill out of the right, kill out of the left.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of times just shock, like shock. If
Oh
you
yeah,
don't, if you
shock
call it
the
that.
shock the. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Yeah,
But the Ricky and Lucy is or the rocket and laser is far better. I've been a big advocate of trying to modernize, I guess, some of the call outs, mostly
Right.
because it just brings out so you get so much more information with much less conversation.
yeah,
For sure.
So like, and we use a lot of Army phonetics, I think is the word. So like A is alpha, B is beta, stuff like that. But so we try to keep all the snake side one letter or close to, and then the Dorito side all one letter or close to.
Okay.
So like we've got like a Cobra is our corner, Charlie is our insert. So that they're all going to be C names until you get to the snake. And then we have Delta for the Dorito corner, and then Denver is that insert.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And so like everything D, everything C.
Right. That's crafty.
something that we kind of do similarly. We do the D words for Dorito and S words for snake and C for center.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm a big
Yeah,
advocate on trying to get as little codes as possible, but we've been using these same codes for I think air assault. Yeah, air assault started in like 2005. Probably 2006 was the first year that the team started.
Yeah.
That's like 20 years of code, so it's kind of hard to pull that away.
Right. For sure.
If I had my way, it would be 100s all the way down the Doritos, and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the back line, and then like you'd have a god or whatever, and then snake 1, 2, 3, whatever you want.
Right.
That's going to take out 50% of the codes you need to learn. Like if you have a guest on your team, you're not like, oh, here's our 35 codes for the bunkers or however many bunkers there are now. I think there's like 54 bunkers. So you probably have 40-ish different names. Whereas if you can just say 100, 200, 300, 400 down the Doritos, and then you're really cutting it in half for the amount of codes that people need to know.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people recommend just keep it simple. Like it's not like you're trying to play this decipher game of what you're trying to talk about, and just try to keep it simple. And we've been trying to implement more simplicity into our callouts. And I think it's working so far, but we'll have to take a reassessment on how this EXL goes to see how how that truly is working out. But I wanted
Nice.
to ask.
What division? Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, we're doing Division 5.
Okay, sweet. That's a good way to
So
start. X-Ball?
the
Yeah.
X-Ball,
EXL? Yeah.
Mercy 3, and then the 8-minute. Sorry, not 8 minute.
8-minute time. Okay.
Yep. So we're going down. It's truly our first. I know at TNN we'll do those X-Ball scrimmages, and like that's like our first true introduction to X-Ball, but this is our like actual first tournament doing X-Ball, so it's gonna be pretty interesting to watch how we perform
Yeah.
and see if people have been saying that they've been working out too.
Right.
So
Yeah, and paintball's kind of nice. It's not necessarily like obviously, yeah, that's gonna help you. If like you that worked out versus you that didn't work out is gonna perform better.
yeah.
But luckily, paintball's like I want to say 65-70% mental.
Oh, yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Like Colt Lookow is probably like the number one proponent of like see what you can do when you're not in shape. But that's not to say that if he was in shape, he would be that much better.
Yeah.
Right.
How are you guys staffed out? That's really X-Ball is really going to be, especially at that level. If you guys have fast people that can hit as wide as they can and down the field as fast as they can, that's going to be great. But even more importantly, if you have a pit crew that can make sure the paint is managed well, make sure that if you guys have the coach, hopefully you guys have a coach. If the coach doesn't have to worry about X, Y, and Z in the pits because you guys are staffed out enough, then that's going to give them that much more time to talk to the players on the field
For sure.
Yeah.
get them
So
ready for those next points because it sounds like 2 minutes or whatever is a long time, but it's not.
yeah, for sure. And I don't for staffing wise, it's just gonna be me as the coach. We're bringing 8 guys down, so like we're gonna have a couple guys on the sideline in the pit, wiping guys down. But it's gonna be a learning curve for some. I can imagine the urgency of things. Like, hey, like we need to go back out on this field in 2 minutes. Like we need to get our shit together. be ready for it. Let's not talk about the last point for too long if we don't need to talk about it at all. If we won the point and just talk about what we did good and what we're going to continue to do, I think that'll be our best bet. But not to don't need to spend time thinking about all the negative things that happened in the previous point will be key.
Yeah, is it a 1-day tournament or?
It's a 1-day tournament. It's
Okay.
the D4 is on Saturday and the D5 is on Sunday.
You guys going down for the Saturday games then?
No.
No, we're leaving Saturday early morning, so we'll probably get there around the time that they're finishing up.
We'll
Right.
probably
Are they
have
on cast? Are they a webcast?
Yeah, so Trevor's bringing in his iPad. He's got cell service on his iPad, and he's gonna have up the stream and we watch how the D4 players play the field. And from what you guys understand, that we played this layout this past weekend, and we with the side. We just didn't play the D side right. We just kept dying out of the Dorito side. And we saw a lot of teams tripling up the snake side and then kind of keeping the Doritos open a little bit to have the back snake guys shoot out Dorito guys and work the snake guy up the snake, or the one on the snake up the snake. So
That's this weekend coming up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the same layout that was out
11.
at Annandale this
That you guys
past weekend.
practice on.
Yeah, that's the one that we're gonna be
Yeah, I
playing
did.
on at the EXO.
Well, there's 3 big tournaments this weekend.
Yeah,
ICT, Max event, and EXL all in the same weekend.
yeah. What do you guys do to prepare for a tournament?
Usually if we can get the event layout up at Annandale, that's usually where we end up going.
Yeah.
Being up here, it's kind of tough. We usually, back in the day, we would just put up the field down at Action Packed in Jordan.
Mhm.
We don't have that option anymore, so it's either we get Thole to set it up in Vintage, or we get JT to set it up at Annandale, and we go out and play.
Yeah.
I just pulled up the layout myself. You guys have any 50 off the break?
The middle 50?
Yeah.
The Snake 50?
Oh no.
I feel like you can get there.
You can get there almost right off the break. The only issue is if somebody goes to the corner right off the break, he's getting you. You're dead to rights to him trying to get to that 50.
The thing is, I also saw is that the Snake 50 doesn't really have any shots on the inside, unless you wrap.
It's probably smarter just to get in, I suppose, into the Snake one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because our game plan, I'm sure that this probably won't be released until late this end of the week or early next week. But our plan is to stay at the Snake 1 for a little bit, try to get any shots off, and then push up to Snake 2. And then we're going to kind of lean on the snake side a little bit more. We're going to be more snake dominant this tournament, and then have somebody go out to the snake corner and then have someone go to the snake insert and look Dorito side.
Get that little laid down brick.
Yep, that juice box.
Yeah, it's definitely a interesting layout. It's a lot of fun to play on. Like you could, if you're a front snake player, you can play the snake, you can play the Doritos, or you can run down the 50, and you can play any of those positions pretty much the exact same. You just pinch off angles, pop some heads, and just keep moving.
It's center brick pretty easy to get to.
Oh yeah.
It's super easy. I mean, really the only way you're getting shot out is if somebody is going out wide aiming for you, or someone's lobbing shots over the middle.
Okay.
Our home player made it to the center brick almost every single time when he made that run.
I feel like he could do the job of that juice box and just focus on getting people down the stake and just filtering them down.
Yeah, that was our game plan at first. It works, but you're basically playing whack-a-mole on the snake side. If you're at that center 50 and you're just watching snake, you're pretty much playing whack-a-mole.
Center 50 to watch the Dorito side.
Yeah.
Because we started the day off practicing that brick would watch the snake to watch the snake 2 and the snake 50, but it never worked, and people were not playing. They weren't doing that. If they went to the brick, they were looking at the Dorito side. So yeah, I think what you just said is what we're going to be doing here, is focusing that if we do send somebody to the center 50 brick, we're going to be looking D side.
That tower looks really tasty too. The one that's to the left of the brick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one, if you can get there, you can hold some things off pretty easily, but it's a lot harder of a bunker to get to. It looks pretty easy, but you have to, if you get to the center 50, then you have to kind of backtrack, and you leave yourself wide open to a lot of bunkers. And then running straight up to it, you're pretty much wide open to a lot of different angles, just running straight to it. So getting there is a little hard, but if you're there, you can can really hold some angles.
The can kind of shoot it, can it? Yeah. Oh, you guys tried running? I don't want to stay on this too long, I guess. Have you guys tried running like to the left, but run like you're going to the snake, or even run somebody into the snake? Have that second person, if that snake eye makes it, he would run on the outside of that lay down brick, what you guys are calling the snake insert.
Yep.
And then just with his gun up on the tape side, kind of, I think you're blinded out from that back center if you make it past that lay down brick.
Let's see.
But anyway, I theologize too much about layouts.
It's all good.
Ah, it's good to get a different take because we might be seeing it one way and then you see it a different way, and that knowledge is key.
Oh, for sure. I love listening to people break down layouts as well. It's super interesting.
How many runners do you guys have? Like small, fast people?
2. Well, we got 2 main ones, and then we got 2 other, but like our quote unquote backups for our like main line. So it's Randy. Randy's the snake runner, and then we have Smokey, who's our D runner.
Okay. Yeah. So the off the break shooting is gonna be like not as good as like a higher ranks. So I would use that to your advantages as far as like take bigger risks.
For sure.
Off break.
Right.
Bigger
Right.
risks. Okay.
In those deep dives, and then again, just being prepared will set you far above other teams. I think that's really what the biggest thing that Brent brings to Air Assault is like being prepared on stuff that other teams just aren't ready for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super nice being able to play on the layout before going to the tournament. That wasn't really something we have been able to do in previous tournaments. So that's
Right.
super nice. Even if it was just the one time, it was pretty helpful. I mean, we could walk it over on guns up, but actually being out there and playing on it was a totally different experience. And you learn a lot more and a lot of different things, and you see a lot more, or some things just aren't there that you thought might have been there. So it makes a world of a difference actually playing on the field.
Yeah, and especially learning what not to do
That too.
during a practice, and not learning that during a tournament is also a big plus.
Yep. And you got to take everything with a grain of salt because again, you'll be playing on a different field. Like
Yep.
some of those nuanced gaps, the smaller gaps may or may not be there, but
Mhm.
Yep.
the general bigger, like if there's like a larger gap, that will probably translate pretty well.
Right. What position do you play for your team?
I'm more of a bigger guy. I like to think I'm like the QB, so like the 3.
Okay.
Okay.
I can play insert on either side. I'm not really an attacker, but I could be. But I really don't think I have the speed or endurance to be like the one.
Oh, for sure. I
On
mean,
either side.
there's a place for everybody in paintball, and it's always so fun to see, the home player just taking a big move and just wiping somebody's face. It's awesome.
Yeah. I could probably do the one on the Doritos, because Doritos are more methodical usually.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't necessarily have to take Doritos off the break. You can go to the baby or the beast or whatever, and then
Right.
work your way out. Where the snake is like it's important to be. I don't know if you guys saw any of the Tampa event, but Thomas Hari, you have to be snake off the break pretty much every point if that's
Right.
what you're doing, especially if the layout calls for it.
Yeah, I've been super
Yeah.
snake dominant. Yeah, it's definitely important to get a snake player in there and get him up far, and then get a good back player to work him up the field and slowly pinch people out and shoot them out.
Yeah, I really like to connect the dots essentially of the game. The biggest flaw is I don't shoot enough paint though, so it's like if I'm a 3, that's not a very good trait to have.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's like if I'm just ripping the lane, my brain doesn't seem to put the dots together as well. I'm just like shooting,
Right.
and that's really bad. I gotta fix that somehow. Years
Yeah.
playing and still doing the same thing.
Right. No, I mean, I'm a front snake player, but still, I'm terrible at holding lanes. Like I'll sit there and shoot a little bit, then I'll stop and be like, okay, maybe he'll go now, and then I'll shoot a little bit more, and then I'm like, okay, he's not going, and then I'll just end up watching something else.
Yeah, as an attacker, I would just focus on what's in front of you as opposed to what's across the field,
Mhm.
and like finding what's going to stop your progression as opposed to like how can I stop their progression, especially as a 1.
Right.
So say it's that brick. How am I going to get my teammate to help me double team this position that's stopping me that I can get to the next bump? I can get to the next bump, so I can get to the next bump. It really doesn't matter what they're doing on the Dorito side if their back is to you because you're in their side of the snake. Like there's no stopping you now because you're just
Right.
gonna shoot them in the back.
Yeah. So you kind of alluded to this a little bit, but do you does AAF like to for the attackers wise? Do you encourage your guys to gun battle with your like mirror?
It's really nuanced there. It kind of depends. Me personally, I would say no. You kind of want to take as little gun battles as possible.
Yeah.
Just because it's a coin toss, and then the further up you get, it's even more of a coin toss. That said, if you have a player that drills every week, and you they're not just saying they drill every week, but they're drilling every week, and their gunfighting is better at the D5 level, where it at, right?
Yep.
Because if you've been putting in the work, you're going to be better than most of the people. Whereas once you get to, I guess I can't talk from experience, but once you get to like semi-pro or a pro, every single person is going to be just as good as the next person at gunfighting. So you're
Right.
Oh
literally flipping a coin as opposed to just, oh, this guy's on the tape. Let me tell the teammate, this guy's on the tape. We use like a shotgun and dynamite to say, so like say we're talking about the god. If the god was shooting on to the Doritos, you would say, hey, the god is dynamite. That means the god is not stopping the snake, right?
Okay.
And so you kind of use more of that as opposed to like, hey, I'm gonna beat this guy. Sometimes you have to, right? Like especially in X ball, if you're down points, you don't have time to wait it out, essentially, right?
Yep.
Like you're gonna need to start fighting. And so that's where it's nuanced, where it's either there's a lot of if ands,
Yep.
I guess. And most of the time, at least in my mind, it's not worth it.
For sure.
Yeah, no. Yeah, because I've had that talk with a couple of other people, and everybody's answers kind of different, but it kind of boils down to, hey, if you're gonna be gun battling, it's kind of a flip of a coin, like you said, like where it's usually almost not in your favors, especially if that player is on the off chance is gun battling every weekend and you just don't know it. So it's just best probably not to take as few as possible, and then just have the cross field shots shoot people out and whatnot, and you communicate how you're attacking the field to the rest of your team.
Yeah, so a lot of like instead of like a gunfight, which I would see as like a one-on-one battle, you really just want to find where who can we bully
Who
to
can
get
we bully?
X down the field? Who can we bully to get down the field? As opposed to like, especially if you're the one in the snake. You guys kind of mentioned that the first thing was going to be slide into the snake one and shoot inside, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
Just worry about what's in front of you, what's stopping you. I would on this snake. I don't know how good the shots are. I think that tower might be able to shoot down on you, but if you get into that snake one, I don't see what stops you from getting into the snake two,
For sure.
if there is anything.
No, that
Especially
makes
if they're
total
all
sense.
and then once you're in the snake two, I don't see what stops you from, say they don't go to the snake off the break or you shoot that guy. If you're in the snake two already, now you can wrap that snake two onto their widest person.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you have really good guns off the break. If you can isolate that wide person, say they don't make it to the corner, or they try to go to the snake off the break and you shoot him, and they're stuck in like that juice box is their next closest guy.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull that up again. Sorry. And if you're wrapping that snake, you're fully protected from anything else that can shoot you, except for whatever you're looking at, right? So if you don't let them move,
Yeah, then that snake is yours all day.
right. So say, yeah, dang, if they're stuck in it, holy jeez. Yeah, this layout is definitely looking for people to do that. Like you don't even have to gun battle that person. So say their widest guy is in that Aztec after you've shot either their corner runner or their snake guy. I don't know if people are running the corner and the snake. That seems double risky. Say
Yeah.
you're in the snake two and they're stuck in that Aztec right off of the back, like to the left of the back center.
Yep.
You can just shoot, like you don't even have to shoot at them. You can just shoot the gap to make sure that they can't get out there.
Right.
Now you can let your team know, hey, their widest guy is here. He's not getting past my zone. Now that opens up the field for all those other people.
Right. You
Or
just take the snake and play
Yep.
aggressive.
And then you can get somebody to come behind you into that corner or into the snake one, I guess. And like you just work, like if you're off the zone, or like stay on the zone until the person behind you says they're on that zone. And now you can wrap even harder and try to see if there's anybody that's like setting a trap for you to make that next bump.
Mm-hmm.
If there's not, just go again and then rinse and repeat. So like if he's still, say you go to the snake one, get into the snake two, and you're wrapping on that Aztec, and then you hear your two is behind you, he's in the snake one. Also, she's shooting at that Aztec over the top of the juice box, right? From the snake one. Now you can take the next bump, and then he can take the next bump. And then somebody can either filter in behind him or they can move up the field. Because especially if they're stuck in that Aztec, now that frees up the guy to go up to this middle brick or the temple, and you essentially just trying to take cuts of that field off.
For sure.
Cutting up and dicing out the field, yeah.
Whereas if you slide into the snake one and you look inside, they slide into the snake one. Their two realizes you're inside. Now that snake two is in his snake two. If you're still inside, now he's in 50 snake, and then you're like, all right, now I can start moving. Then all of a sudden you get bunkered out or something because
Right.
he's already down the field.
That definitely happened to me a couple times. Not like now you're explaining it like that. Yeah, that definitely happened to me a couple times.
Yeah. So as that one, your goal should be what's in front of me and what's stopping.
Okay.
And your two's goal should be how can I help the guy in front of me? And then if you get eliminated, now they become the one.
Yeah.
And then the three becomes the two.
Rinse and repeat.
Yep.
Switching up gears a little bit, we say we have an imaginary field that opened up in the cities, and think of it as like an Annandale. Like they have the rec ball, they have the speedball. What kind of amenity or some kind of convenience would you want to have implemented at the field to better the experience for you and maybe others?
I guess for me, it goes back to like how I was brought up with FSL. It's like having that this niche that we like introduced to those newcoming players. So
Okay.
like having the DVDs or having Ghost Sports up or whatever. Having award ceremonies being shown. Or like the Thomas Mara story is an amazing crazy story. A rookie player makes MVP. Like a kid seeing that type of stuff makes it so that they want to come back. I don't know if that's necessarily answering the question, but for me, all I really want is the sport to grow, to take it out of the woods, if you will.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as like if people hear paintball, they're like, "Oh, yeah, do you sneak up behind someone with a paintbrush? Have you ever done that?" I'm like, "You don't even understand what
Yeah,
I
ain't no
play."
way.
Um,
That's crazy.
yeah, like taking it out of the woods. It's a sport. The wood side is recreational. But as far as amenities, I don't know. I feel like PB Fit does it really well. I've never been, but what I've heard, and then so does X Factor. But like both of those people are like they're spending all this money to do it without. I guess it's monetizing it. I don't know. Like at PB Fit, you go to PB Fit, you pay whatever. Then like here's your waters and your snacks if you're hungry. That's not like this will be X amount of money for your water, right? They just give it out, and that
Yeah.
brings people back.
Right.
But
That's a
I
huge
don't really
thing.
necessarily think that that's like a needed thing, but it definitely leaves a good taste in their mouths.
For sure.
And people come back.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Most people say a bathroom, but I like that idea as well.
Nice. Yeah, the porta potties are what they are at Annandale, but you know they're always clean, so that's good.
That's true.
Yeah. Kind of sticking with I wanted to ask you how Tampa was a couple weeks ago. Do you have any fun experiences that you went through? I know you got sick, but can you
Yeah,
share
it wasn't.
anything else?
I didn't actually get like the feeling of sickness till I got back. The experience itself was great. I've been to the World Cup at Walt Disney World in 2004,
Hmm.
where it was like the one of the like when it was actually huge.
Hmm.
I've been to the Huntington Beach in 2006, which was also huge. But there's nothing really compared to what the stadium feel was.
Oh, I can
And
imagine.
Yeah.
and so I was there in the morning, and it wasn't very full. And at first I was like, oh, kind of not bummed, but like it still looked really cool. Somebody I was talking with was able to keep my spirits high. Like, hey man, it's still awesome. It is what it is. It was just a random guy I was talking with. But actually I pitted for Impact at this last event, and so I got to be like on the floor level and looking up into the stands
That's awesome.
through those epic games and seeing it on the jumbotron and this, that, and the other.
Hell yeah.
And just the energy was just super cool. It was really cool.
Yeah,
I've been to a lot of events, and this was one of the tops for sure.
Yeah, I saw your post on and all your pictures, and I was like, man, that's a cool ass experience. You're just in the pit with Impact, and this is like you see all the pros, and you're like, damn, like this is such a cool experience.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Did you learn anything? Like anything new?
I mean,
Over
I
there,
always
or is
learn.
it
So when did you guys start playing?
2 years ago.
recently? Yeah.
Okay.
years ago.
Okay. So the PSP Ultimate Ref used to be his name was Tim Schrepfer. And so he's local from Minnesota. He played on the Wizards way back in the day. This is sort of a tangent, I guess. But he got me and a group of my friends into the ref scene for the PSPs. And so we started at the D3 fields, because D4 and 5 weren't around back then. But then I think within one event we made it up to the what is now semi-pro, so the D1 fields. And this is back when like Avalanche, Vicious, Damage, Impact, Aftermath, all those teams were semi-pro D1.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually didn't have the ref, I ran the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
And it was back when X-Ball was coaching.
Wow.
So like I got paid to sit and run the scoreboard, but meanwhile I'm listening to the likes of Greg Pauly, Joey Blute, Bart Yakimak coach these players on the D side.
Huge.
And so that was from 2006 to 2008 or 9.
Wow.
And that's what actually got me not in connection with, but that's how I know some of the people on the Damage crew.
Right.
And so whenever I can, I'll help them in the pits. And yeah, I mean you learn more than you can like even consciously learn. Like just being around it subconsciously, you're picking up bits and pieces and nuances all over.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, long story short, I suppose yes. You learn quite a bit. It's pretty intense, and I suppose for me, like the biggest thing you learn is like again keeping that composure in the pits, making sure like those coaches aren't looking back and making sure that the paint is good, right? They have a pit boss, and then that pit boss has 2 or 3 people that he's already figured, or maybe even 4 or 5 people that he's figured out. Like, okay, during when they come off the point, you two are gonna look for hits and wipe off hits. Here's a bag of fresh paint for loader paint. You just keep on filling tubes and make sure that they're not rattly, this, that, and the other, breaking in the tubes. And then like usually the actual teammates are like taking the gun from that player and filling up their tank or whatever for him.
Yeah.
But you see this whole well-oiled machine run. And again, like Damage has Joey as the manager, Skinny Kevin as the coach, and then they have a pit boss as well. And then that pit boss has a crew. And like they all work together, but Joey isn't worrying about the paint or wiping people's hits off, this, that, and the other, because they have to worry about each point, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then just from getting that front seat view, I guess, of people play, you kind of pick up this, that, and the other. Or it's kind of nice because you can like ask, like say you see something and you don't actually know the answer, or like you don't know why they did it. You're helping these people out, and they're humans. They're not to that level where they're like, oh, I'm Michael Jordan, I don't have to talk to so and so.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're always thankful. They're always this, that, and the other. They'll always answer questions. So you could say like, hey, what was going through your mind here? Obviously, you don't do that mid-match, but at the end of that match, you could say like, hey, that second point, I noticed you did this. Why? Or can you kind of go into that? And they'll. I have never had an issue where they've just been like, hey, screw off, kid. You know,
Yeah.
like they'll tell you.
A lot of people, like almost anybody that you talk to, will say that the paintball community, for a sports community, the paintball community is just one of the best communities. Everyone is so friendly, so caring, so willing to help, and everybody just wants the sport to grow. So that's why everyone is just more than willing to give information and help newer, younger, less experienced players. They're more than willing to give information and help them out.
Right. Yeah, it's beautiful.
As kind of along the lines of that, I kind of wanted to ask you, what's something that you've learned throughout your years playing paintball that you could give to somebody who's, hasn't started playing paintball yet, or has played a couple times and, wants to continue coming out? Do you have any advice for them?
Other than it's the best sport ever.
That's true.
Yeah. I guess like what do you want for not what do you want for an answer, but like you reiterate it?
Yeah, like is there like some sort of I guess I could have worded it better, but some sort of like tip to some player who's maybe playing on the snake side or home or Dorito that you could give to them and saying, hey, I wish I would have learned this sooner.
Probably the rollout or snap shooting is the number one. It's a lot easier to learn correctly first than to try to relearn a way of doing something. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the rollout. You just want to line up marker. Obviously, you set the loader into whatever shape the bunker is, but instead of like pushing off with your feet or something like that, you just want to roll body, roll your hip down. I learned that very young. I want to say like not like I guess before the curve. I think I learned that before the curve, mostly because I was watching these D1 semi-pro players, right?
Right.
And that's how they were doing it. They'd be putting their tank way higher than they should. They used to do, we called it a rocket launcher. It was almost like up on top of your shoulder,
Yep.
That's
and
awesome.
then they'd roll out. But that's evolved a little bit, obviously, where you put it a little bit lower, it's a little more tucked in. But you're exposing yourself so much less with a rollout, and your shot will always be on as long as your base is solid. So like if your feet are stable
Mhm.
and your gun is pointed straight and the back of your gun is where your nose is, you could almost roll out with your eyes open, shoot, come back in, then close your eyes and just continue to roll out. You're shooting at the same time of the apex, you're gonna hit the shot because the marker is pointed there. You're not changing any of the variables.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're popping out trying to be fast, every single one of those you're changing where your barrel's pointed. You're changing where your gun is. You're changing, if you're using your entire body to kind of slide out, I guess is the other option.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would be easily the number one tip I would give to really anybody is to
Nice.
utilize the rollout. And in today's age, you can Google rollout. I think Justin Rabikoff has a video about it.
Mm-hmm.
For people that aren't familiar with what a rollout is versus a slide out.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I guess just to keep at it, right? Like Rome wasn't built in a day or whatever they say.
Right.
I've been playing for 20 years and I'm still bad.
It's still-
Well, the thing is that I think my team says this a lot. Is if you're good at something, then there's no room for improvement. Like if you're always, if you're losing, you're learning. But if you're winning, you're not learning. Well, I feel like that was a picture, but I think you
No,
get what I
I
mean.
hear you. Yeah, and that's what's really tough. Like as humbly as I can say it, that's what's really tough about being on Air Assault and then being in the Midwest is
Mhm.
like, yes, we can go out and we can play the scrimmages at Annandale. We can go out and do this or that or the other. But it's really hard to not sound conceited, but like we're not learning nearly as much as you guys are.
Yep.
And that's, to me, that's a good thing, I guess, right? Because I'm here to grow the sport. But as far as progressing through the divisions, we would need to travel probably to blast camp, like 8-hour drive to get any competition.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess we could drive into Wisconsin, I suppose, like closer to the Michigan area. But again, I think that's a very big commitment, especially at the age I am now,
Yeah, it's a far
with the
drive
family and stuff
too.
like that.
Yeah, there was I was having this conversation with a couple people where it's just like, let's just say our Division 4 is not the same as Division 4 down south. And, you guys being the better teams in Minnesota, the better team in Minnesota, you're not getting a lot of competition. I mean, you're still getting competition, but not nearly as what you would need to continue going up in division out of the rest of us in order for you guys to progress. And it's just like I wish there was more. And this is our goal, is to get more people out here where, hey, we are doing a lot more Division 4. Maybe we're doing Division 3 tournaments out in the Midwest, closer to home for us. And rather than having to go out, drive 8, 10, 12 hours just to get competition. And I hope we can get to that stage where we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, get back to there. Yeah, we did. There was a time in Minnesota history that the actual pros would come out and play. There was like a polar bear series, but the APPA PB leagues kind of got rid of that.
Oh.
Because before
Ooh.
it used to be you'd have rookie, novice, and amateur,
Hmm.
and that's all you were. And so these pro players would be technically ranked amateur, right? And so they could come out and play these big events, or not big events, but they could play these events with us.
Yeah.
That's right before I played a polar bear event in 2005, and I think it was over in 2000. I think PB League started like shortly after that. So I wasn't really around the scene at that time. But from what I've heard, is that's what kind of that stopped the progress of Minnesota paintball. But as soon as like those players couldn't play our leagues anymore, they didn't come around anymore.
Right. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
And I suppose shout out to Aaron Tholey on this one. So when we do play, like a lesser team isn't really the word I'm looking for, but I'll use a lower divisional team. We're still getting practice. Again, like we mentioned, we're not getting challenged like we need to. But you
Mhm.
can start. He mentioned you can like place goals on yourselves. So like the meaning of practice isn't to win practice. So like they were playing JFP. Okay, we can't move from the back line. Like we wouldn't tell you guys this, right? But like
Yeah.
we put a handicap on ourselves. Like, hey, we can't do this or that or the other until we get kill 2.
Right.
or we can take one risk, but we can't take two risks, or say we take the one risk, that guy can't just run down the field. We have to do this, that, or the other, or can't move until all 5 bodies are confirmed. Just like you can put little handicaps on yourselves without telling the other teams, and then that can kind of help you get better. Like it won't win you those points.
It helps
More
you
But
than
you
learn the
helps,
learn
right?
fundamentals.
Yeah, you can work on your
situational awareness.
communication or situational awareness, this, that, and the other. And that's a good way to challenge yourself if you're playing against a team that is a different division, a lower division.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel like, as much as you guys shit on us, I feel like we do learn a lot. So it's
Oh,
like,
for sure.
The only way
it's
to
never
win.
fun losing, but like if you ain't, like I said, if you ain't losing, you're not learning. So like it's always nice to have you guys out. As much as we hate losing, it's always nice to have
Right,
you
right.
guys out and challenging us.
You guys doing the Greenspan clinic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
JT I don't know if you saw that JT like opened up a couple more spots. So it was us because originally he thought we were going to be a part of the original, but it sold out almost immediately. So he forgot to like even bother asking me. But it's us and the Killer Bees that are going to be the other 2 teams that are joining.
Nice,
So I think
nice.
he said
Yeah.
it's you have 2 lines going. It's
Yep.
the Warbirds and then the Bahala brothers, the Scott brothers, and then JFP and Killer Bees.
6 lines, nice. And Blake Yarber's coming out too, I heard.
Yes, he'll
Yeah.
be the second pro coming out, which is kind of cool because then it's not like you're getting a random second pro. You're getting 2 pros from the same team, so they are on the same page with each other.
Right.
So that's gonna be fun. And leading into that, I was gonna ask you, what are you looking forward to that clinic? What are you looking to gain, or what are you looking to learn from Blake Yarber and Ryan Greenspan?
So we did it last year. I think it was last year. Yeah. And I just really like how he broke down everything.
Mhm.
So like he records every point and he's commentating during each point. And so it's not even what I'm looking to learn, it's what will I learn, you know? Like I
Yeah.
might not know I have a deficiency here, there, or the other, but Ryan is no one to hold his tongue, especially if we're paying him to not hold his tongue.
Right.
And so like I will hear what needs to be worked on
Mhm.
through those videos. From Blake, for me personally, it's gonna be how can I be the middle of the field more and utilize it more because he's really a beast when it
Yeah.
comes to he'll shoot off the break, but then he gets up into the middle, then he breaks open a point.
Yeah.
Where a lot of times I'm still in the back or I'm looking for okay, where did we lose a body, and then I'm really good at filling the hole, and that's probably an older style play, because usually nowadays you want to attack where you are already strong, not where you've lost. If that
Right.
makes sense.
You want to
So,
keep the
like,
forward
you
progression.
right, as opposed to filling a gap. Where back in the day, it was like, "Oh, no, we lost somebody over here, so now we have to fill over here so we can hold that." It's like, no, if you shot somebody on the Dorito side, but you lost somebody on the snake side, you wanna push the Dorito side because
Yeah.
you have that advantage as opposed to, like, you just be like, "Hey, you over there on the snake by yourself. Yep, you're by yourself. I'm gonna help win down this other side."
Yeah.
Tangent again there. But yeah, I am really good at filling or like noticing, hey, we lost this body. I need to find out how I'm going to get there. But I'm not the best at okay, the Dorito side survived, the snake side survived. Let's get up the center of the field.
Yeah.
Where I'll usually just stay there until we do lose somebody, and it's like, well, why would I do that? And if I would have went up to the center of the field, maybe we would have closed that point off, and nobody would have been eliminated on my side.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you never know.
So when I found out Blake was coming, that actually did pop into my head
Yeah, that'd
as
be
to
perfect.
something I'm gonna try to learn from him.
Kind of
Yeah.
making the most out of your money too.
Oh, of course.
like you spend like these clinics they're not cheap, and Ryan Greenspan, if we have 6 teams going, like JT's has a point. Ryan can only focus on so much at one time, and having 6 teams is like whoa. It's nice to get in a second pro to get a second opinion on things and to just back up and reinforce what Ryan would say to you. And I know Blake will give his own 2 cents into things. Really nice to get 2 pros eyes on your play. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm super excited as well. I can't wait. I've never done something like this. I wanted to do it last year, but it core-aligned with us going to SEPs out in Wisconsin, so
Okay.
wasn't able to make it last year.
Yeah.
And then Vintage is doing a clinic as well.
Connor Kelly.
Yep. So if you guys are able, I would sign up for that as well. Like as I said, it's a lot easier to learn something correctly the first time than to go a decade playing and then realize you've been doing X, Y, and Z wrong
Yeah,
and
for
having to
sure.
try to relearn those things.
Right. I would love to do the one with Kelly, but with the EXL practices and the Ryan Greenspan clinic, it's gonna be really expensive with just that. So
Yeah, it
we'll
all
have
adds
to
up.
see.
We're washing some cars or something, right?
Yeah. Sell some
I watched this.
lemonade.
Yep. Summer camp, I don't know the age group of your guys' crew and stuff, but that's definitely the BKI stuff, the combine and the summer camp that they do every year.
Mhm.
If you have any young players, that's definitely a really great thing to do. The summer camp is like 4 days, I think, of 2-a-days.
Does Nick Sloviak do that? I saw him at a couple times
Yep.
doing that.
Nick's in there, Ryan's in there, Marcelo Margot, Nick Laval.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so
I
you
got a lot
go
of guys go out.
and you get everything's I say paid for. It's up there as well. You'd probably want to save like $100 a month or something just to pay for it the next year. But like you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You play. You wake up. You have breakfast. You play. You eat lunch. During lunch, they go over the film that you played in the morning, and then you play at night. Or you play in the like after lunch. And then you go over film again during dinner or after dinner, and then you wake up and you do it again, and it's 4 days long or something like that.
Oh, that would be fun.
And yeah, so like the exponential growth you can learn from that is beyond anything, especially anything you can get up here.
Oh,
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
It's almost like 4 clinics in one, but you have like 6 or 7 professors they call them.
For sure. Yeah, yeah. It's like an all-day thing for 4 days. That's crazy.
Like you sleep like you all bunk out like you're bunking with the pros essentially.
That's awesome.
That's
So, like,
really cool, actually.
you ask any questions you want. Obviously, you can ask any questions you want. And yeah, they go over each little thing, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun to do. Like it's all once in a lifetime thing. Obviously, you'd want to do that early in your career rather than later. That way, you're not doing the wrong thing for 5-6 years and then eventually learning.
Right.
But
Right.
I've got one more question, at least from my end. If you could change any rule about, I would just say the NXL for a prime example. If you could change any rule about the NXL or add a new rule, what would it be?
That's easy. Sideline coaching needs to. I don't know about the coach itself, but the sideline participation. If that came back, I feel like if they were able to handle the hostility, which I don't know if it would still be there. The game has changed. Like the community, the scene has changed quite a lot
Mhm.
from 15, 20 years ago. But that would bring up just the amount of spectators that the sport had. I remember going to PSPs where they'd bring in their whole families. People are holding up signs like the defense, or like if they're in the snake, there's somebody in the crowd, and like it's like a picture of a snake with an arrow pointing down. And they're following
awesome.
the snake player. And it just like the crowds just seemed bigger, I guess.
Right.
Like yeah, the events are still big. I don't know if you guys have made it to an NXL or PSP. They're big, but these
Oh, yeah.
were the numbers of people were way bigger back then.
Right. I mean, once you get like people in the stands or fans where they can interact without really having a interaction, that just brings more people in and makes it more intuitive to go out and actually watch it in person than watch a live stream.
Yep. And you
And
just like, hey, I need you and you to come and yell stuff for me.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, and then if every single person does that, like most people I would assume aren't coming with a crew anymore, or like non-paintball, like they come with their team,
Mm-hmm.
they come with their staff, but they're not coming with mom, brother, sister, and my cousin
Right.
to do X, Y, and Z on the sideline.
For sure.
Whereas if
it
so, yeah, that's
allows,
easily the number one rule I would change.
because
Or add or bring back.
it just allows you to bring like family participation into it. and we've seen it a little bit, a little resurgence with that with like PD Fit. Like like you ever
Yeah, Chanel. Yeah.
seen their fans on the sidelines? They're screaming, they're yelling after points. But like, yeah, I agree. Sideline coaching should be brought back, especially because any other sport, like they have sideline coach. Like people could yell during a play of the game. People don't for like hockey and some others, but like they can, and it's just like, why not paintball? Why can't paintball do that? And I would argue it would not allow games to go past a certain point where the people running out of paint. Like if you were to know where that one guy was, the games will go by a lot quicker.
Right.
Okay, I didn't even think about that part. Yeah. I know they didn't allow it, but it happened at the stadium, and Marcelo mentioned it in the PTG podcast that like he couldn't tell, but that was because of like how far away it was. Right, they were
Yeah.
further up. They were further up,
Right.
and at a normal event, they're pretty close. At a normal event, you can go right up to the net. And I don't know if the actual like a staffed coach should be allowed to coach still. That was a little. I liked it because I was a younger player and it was just cool.
Right.
But that's more of like a joystick player. Again, I don't know. I thought it was cool, but at least having the crowd side being able to do it, I feel like it would just bring more people in.
Oh, for sure. I agree.
Would stick
I think it'd
around.
be huge.
A lot of teams, they play their 2 points, their 2 matches, and then they go away. They go home. They recuperate, which they should, I suppose. We're becoming more legitimized as a sport. Not as many people are drinking this, that, and the other. Being in between matches or doing whatever. But it would I feel like people would stay a lot longer at those events
I agree.
throughout each day to help out their brother or sister team
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the sideline.
Yeah, I
100%
agree.
agree.
No, I had my dad and my stepmom. They came out and watched one of our tournaments that we played, and I had to tell my stepmom, I was like, "You can come, but like you can't say anything," because she's like that mom that like if you're out there, someone's coming to run you down, she's like gonna say something. She feels like she has to say something,
Yeah,
so I had to let her know not to say anything.
Yeah, back in the day, that wouldn't have mattered. It was way back
Yeah.
in the day. But we played. What was it? 2009 Chicago. I'll never forget. We had a pretty big player named Austin Cheney, and he was our spectator side coach. And so I got into like some one-on-ones, and he was literally just put his arm up, either his left arm. If the guy's coming out of the left side, his arm is either up in the sky or down low to say he's left high, he's left low, or his right arm would go up to show that he was up high on the right or down low on the right.
Mhm.
So I'd get into a one-on-one, and I would just make sure I'm positioned towards the spectator side. Then I can just up.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
But of course, that would be seen as you'd get a penalty for that these days.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that would
Um,
make it a lot more intriguing, I think, because then you're focusing on two different things. You're trying to focus on his, silent call outs while also trying to focus on where the guy is.
Right.
And it's like, it kind of teaches it as a player. Like a lot of players are guilty of like tunnel visioning, and like that helps you not get into that tunnel vision.
Right.
I'd argue.
I would agree.
But Randy, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, what keeps you coming back to the field after all these years of playing paintball? What is the main reason you think that you keep coming back to the field?
There's definitely something about it. It's the sport. I can't even say that it's one certain group of people or anything, because throughout the years the hats always changed. Other than Brent has been the constant. But yeah, there's something about paintball that, man, I don't even know. Like I wouldn't be able to put a finger on it, but it's there. Like one of the sayings is like, you never quit. Just because anybody that does say that they quit, they always come back. Chad Bougier retired last year, and he's back. He was back at this last event.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Damage. Yeah, I think it's just always liked games. So like I played StarCraft, which is like a single player game where you can only get better yourself, right? So I think maybe it's the grind.
Yeah.
Like always trying to be better than I was the day before.
Right.
Even if like my health goals aren't nearly what they were 2 years ago, I can always get better mentally, because like I said earlier, paintball is probably 65% mental, 70% mental.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
And
always trying to learn, always trying to progress.
that's the fun about paintball, man. There's always
Right.
room for progression.
Yep, because you'll never until you can shoot. I think Marcelo always says this: until you can shoot 5 people with 5 paintballs, there's always room to get better.
For sure.
Yeah, that's well said. That's actually really good. Like putting that, you saying that is really well put, and I like that. I like that a lot.
Yep.
But Jarret, I just want to thank you for coming on our podcast and talking to us and getting your 2 cents on this EXL layout and telling us your story and how you got into paintball and just talking to you and getting to know you guys. And sometimes we see each other at the field and we don't really know each other's story, and it's really nice to deep dive into people's paintball life and to get to really know them. And I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us. So thank you.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. It was great. This is the first time that I've gotten to voice my paintball story. So yeah, it was an honor.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah.
It was great having you on. It was great listening to your story. I didn't know that you had all this like pro level stuff that you've done. Like that's super cool and super interesting to listen to. Not a lot of people get to do stuff like that or experience stuff like that.
For sure.
Especially newer players. Like that's I've never even thought about doing something like that. And the fact that you just used to just do it is fucking awesome. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
super cool.
I'm blessed there as well. It was actually kind of funny. So I'm in the Play the Game Discord or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Tyler put out a SOS essentially for this first event, and like it was in Tampa. I usually go. I'm a Damaged fan,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so usually I'm in the Damage pits. Well, I get there, and Mike was like, "Yeah, we got enough people because it was a local event, right? Where it was in Tampa Bay Damage.
Right.
I think they had like 11 staff on their roster or something like that.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
So I was a little hurt, I was like, "Oh wait, okay." But then I saw on the Play the Game podcast that Impact needed help, so I was like, "Hey, sure, whatever." Reached out to Tyler, and he gave me the pit boss's number. I texted him. He's like, "Yeah, meet me here whenever." I run into the Valhalla, Brandon Scott, his sister, and his dad.
Oh
And
wow.
I just recognized Brandon Scott from his hair or whatever, right?
Mhm.
I'm like,
For
"From
sure.
Minnesota, yeah?" Like, "Oh yeah," because I'm always changing how I look. Like,
Yeah.
I could work for the CIA because like if I have long hair and a beard, or if I put my hair back and I shave my face, I look like a completely different person. I could tell he didn't recognize me right away.
That's awesome.
I was like, "No, it's me, Jarret." He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just going over here to help out Impact." And so we actually pitted with each other for that whole weekend.
Oh, that's
And it was
awesome.
funny
That's
because
awesome.
the only people to answer the SOS were Minnesotans.
That's awesome,
Like,
dude.
yeah, weird.
Minnesota nice, huh?
Yeah, that's what I said, exactly what I said. I said, "It must be Minnesota nice or something."
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it was Brandon, his sister, I can't remember her name, and then and his dad were all there, and so it was pretty cool. It was their first time doing it, and
That's
like
awesome.
Hell
like
yeah,
you
dude.
could tell because they were like still starstruck and everything, and I'm just like sitting there working because that's like I've been around it for so long.
Right,
Not
right.
phased.
Yeah, but yeah, that was just funny to me.
I mean, what a coincidence though that it's you guys
Super
out
small
there
clip.
and it's
Yeah.
only you guys from Minnesota pitting for them.
And he didn't
That's super cool.
play. They just went to help. They were gonna go, and then they decided not to. And then he saw like the SOS, and then he was like, "Hey, you know what? This is a good opportunity."
Perfect.
Like he's got family down there, I guess. But yeah, it was super small world.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That actually blows my mind.
That's a good story to tell to other people. It's
Yeah.
something you don't know. So if you don't know, you don't know.
Yep.
So thank you for sharing it. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool to see him.
One last question for you here, Jarret. What's the most important thing to remember before going out onto the field?
Well, just fucking play.